Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to be looking at VeChain, its valuations against Ethereum, looking at the recent move of last week, which resulted in a move against Ethereum of about 8%, and discussing what this could mean. Now, um, we've talked about a lot about VeChain potentially coming in back into the buy region. We've also talked about situations where it doesn't. At in August, it really seemed like after this 25% move that and subsequently wicking up to above this white line here, it really seemed that this is the bottom for VeChain, like it's gonna come back up. But obviously it didn't. It was a dead cat bounce, and now that here we are at the same point, right? We see this green weekly candle after subsequent red candles, and now we're skeptical, right? We are skeptical of, is this the move that brings VeChain back into the fold of really outpacing Ethereum? Is this the time when or is this the time that VeChain just does another dead cat bounce? So when we look at the prior moves, right? Let's put them in quarters, right? Let's divide them in quarters. We know that these moves, like this move here was Q1, okay? Red is Q1, and then we see Q2 was the second move. Q4 we see a slight move here. Q2 was down, and subsequently, like when it first launched, this was Q3. So the quarters doesn't really give us any indication, right? We see a big move in Q4, we see a big move in Q2, and we see a big move in Q4, right? Q Q1, Q2, Q4, not Q3, not necessarily Q3. So quarters timing doesn't really take into account of this in terms of like what quarter is the best for VeChain. We have looked at the distance, the time allotted from the peak, from the last peak to the absolute bottom when the bottom was in. This period was 217 days. This period was 168 days. This period was 196 days. So with that said, if we take 217 days, the bottom would technically, if it were to repeat again, the bottom would be in at about November 15th, right? That gives us a little over a month of time left for VeChain to kind of get back into shape kind of thing. If it was 168 days from the peak, then we are already at the bottom. September 27th was the bottom. If we take, say, 196 days from the peak, then it is end of October where we're going to see some kind of which was that kind of which would indicate the bottom would be at the end of October. So with that said, I think that VeChain needs a little bit more time, just a little bit more time. And all of that kind of aligns within Q4 into Q1, right? October is Q4, November is middle of Q4, and then December is going to be um, the end of Q4, right? So look to Q4 to see maybe some kind of move. If not, if it takes a little longer, then Q1. That would be my kind of time frame. And whatever that price, whatever wherever VeChain lands, that would be the essential bottom. I would like to think it's this buy region here, because every single time VeChain has dumped like this, it ends up coming back into the buy region, right? Um, Obviously, this is taking longer than expected, but so be it. I mean, when we look at the other moves, right? When we look at the other moves, oh, I'm not gonna edit that. When we look at the other moves, um, for VeChain, already by this time, like where we are right now, we should already be in the buy region, right? We should already be in it. We should have been in it for weeks at this point, but we haven't. We haven't, which makes me think that maybe the top of the band is going to be the essential bottom. But we'll see about this. If the price of VeChain begins to move up, then consecutive weeks, consecutive green weeks, right? Then it's kind of more plausible to say that this was the bottom. if we continue to have like one or two green days and then subsequent red candles, then it becomes more so like what we saw in August, where it's just a dead cat bounce and finding a lower low. But give it time. It's it's only another quarter at most, in my opinion. Only another quarter at most. Uh, where we could kind of get an idea of like that where the bottom is going to be. In any case, that's all for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.